In today's episode, we are going to talk about the disinformation that refuses to die. Have you seen these scams or messages online where they tell you, say thank you so that God can bless you? Have you seen it on WhatsApp? Have you seen these forwarded messages on social media? So whenever we expose these scams, we debunk them, they still resurface in a different way. Maybe they'll change the photos, maybe they'll change the wordings, but they keep coming and it's the same old, same old. And today to talk about this, I'm joined with Tess Wandia, who's a senior researcher at Africa Check, and Duncan Bwire, who's a researcher at Africa Check. They're going to tell us more about this information that refuses to die. So to start us off, Duncan, tell us about these scams.
I'll explain why these kinds of scams refuse to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of the reasons is because people are gullible and they keep falling for these scams. And when they keep falling for these scams, scammers, their business continue. Like they always get clients, I'll say, to subscribe to their scams. So when they keep subscribing to their scams or keep falling for their scams, then it means they're in business and they keep coming back to them and falling for them. And I'll say that one of the reasons that make people fall for them is because some of them are struggling financially, some of them are unemployed, some of them are going through diseases and problems with their health. And so they are looking for hope. And they believe that these kinds of solutions that they are being given by scammers will be a solution for their problems. And that's why they keep coming back.
So Tess, do you want to add something on that?
There's one other thing that usually comes up is, that superstition, that thing for, I'm ndio najua, that deep belief. No, you can't even convince someone otherwise. And that's why sometimes you keep behaving in the same way because you believe based on maybe some religious aspects or culturally, some information that was passed on to you or how you were born into that environment, you believe certain things to be true beyond any scientific knowledge, but you keep, the faith there that no. What I am doing and what my family has done for the past, I don't know how many years, that's what the truth is. So you keep seeing people, falling for maybe dangerous information, especially things like health scams. We can see that those things can be life-threatening.
True.
Yes.
Oh, so let's set the stage. Just scrolling on social media, I come across get a brand new motorbike by just scrolling this. Duncan, tell us, how do we see this scam now? Which types of example of these scams you've seen?
So one of those that I've seen that keep coming back are clickbaits. Okay, I'll say clickbait. So these persons create a link and they usually target seasons where maybe we are facing disease break. We are facing issues like disease outbreaks, like COVID, for example.
Okay.
So they promise users, social media users, that the government is giving some amount of cash to each one that will click on these links. And so I've clicked on these links before, and they usually tell you to share it to 5 groups, WhatsApp groups, for you to get awarded. And usually the moment I've done it, there's usually no reward. And there's a risk also of clicking these links because it means some of your data might be phished by these people. Another one that I've seen that is so popular is financial scams, where people come up with Facebook pages and they pretend to offer loans. So they tell you we are offering loans, but our terms are better than those that you see in the main financial institutions. And what makes these people be believed, people to believe in them, is because sometimes they use logos of main financial institutions. For example, digital lenders like Tala, for example, Zenka, they use their logo, they use their colors, and tell people we are now the Zenka
Of
people.
course, they need to make it believable for us to click on.
And we are giving you better rates. We are not doing a credit check on yourself. So if you are in CRB, you should not worry.
Easy money.
So, but there's one trick when you usually engage these people. They usually ask you to give them a registration fee. Before we go
to those details on how they use all these, Tess, would you like to give us more examples on this?
One example that I've seen severally is job scams. So even with the job scam, they are telling you, for this job, there's, let's say, clerks, there's housekeepers, there's drivers, there's a data analyst. This is the list of jobs that are available at, let's say, Coca-Cola or Safaricom or Naivas, Quickmart. So it could be any well-known organization across the country, and they give you a lovely list of different job types. And of course, they usually put a very diverse range, so you can see anyone would be able to see, hey, I can fit in here as a chef, maybe I'll be the nutritionist or the data entry clerk. And then they tell you, send an email to, so let's say it's a Coca-Cola job, but they'll be like coca-cola@gmail.com. So they tell you, send an email there or WhatsApp 0756 yeah,
and then they give you information.
And sometimes they even tell you to show interest, send 5,000 to this particular number, so that they can reach out and give you details of the interview process. But they try to grab you by these flowery things. They tell you they're hiring 10 jobs, so and this is maybe even the salary. So they try to hook you. Another example is motorbikes. So you see, like the boda industry is very, rampant here, especially, let's say, in Nairobi, even across the country. It's an easy access job for young men. So people who are maybe struggling financially are roped into to own a motorbike. We can break down the payments over maybe 5 payments, and you can start firstly by paying an initial fee of 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, so that you can get the motorbike, and then you can, start owning it as you pay slowly.
So it's the language they use, what they put as.
Exactly.
Maybe I get you back a bit. We go back a bit where Duncan was talking about clickbait, and you are trying to explain how they hook you.
One of those things that they do is usually they want to give you very affordable rates. Be it motorbikes, be it clickbait, they look for people who want to they want to paint that picture that these people can get money very easily. And so if you go to the bank, sometimes they'll ask you for your KRA PIN, for example. They ask you for your ID, but these people tell you, we don't do that. You just send us a message, loan, for example, and we give you that money. So that is a trick they use. They make sure that they use the easiest, almost no obstacle in their adverts.
I mean, their post usually says unbelievable offers. You will not get this in the bank. You will not get this anywhere else. This one is the one.
Yes.
And of course, the gullible person is very desperate for the money, for the job, for the,
As we are still talking about this, let's bring in the big question. Why do they keep coming back? That's the question everyone needs to know. Like, why do they keep coming back? Because I've seen you debunk all this every month, every day. You debunk the same. But why are they still coming back?
The reason is people being desperate, having financial issues, health issues, and they want quick solutions to their problem.
And maybe in terms of health, Tess, you talked about conspiracy and health disinformation. Could you tell us more about that in terms of what comes in? What do we see? And some examples that you've seen.
Just to add on, like Duncan has mentioned how, when you're disenfranchised, you don't have money to go to the hospital. So you try to look for an easy access way to maybe heal your flu. But now it not only is a flu, maybe there's something more serious going on. Or maybe you have a fear of getting sick from a more serious ailment. So, everyone is scared of getting cancer. So we are told that, maybe you should eat, pineapples for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or maybe you should start eating a specific herb, you mix it in your food. And sometimes what ends up happening, because this is not, science-based information or knowledge, it could also have adverse effects. So understandably, in the African culture, we definitely have herbs that are beneficial, right? However, how we take them and how they're administered to us could be the thing that makes us be exposed to negative effects. So you can see that preying on people's fear can also increase our gullibility to health scams. So another example that fails to leave social media is around vaccination. So popular vaccinations like, let's say, polio, their belief systems. Many people believe that at one point, Bill Gates, the foundation, was trying to, control the population in African countries. So there are some people who will not take their children to be vaccinated against polio because they believe that this may affect their future children's ability to procreate, right? So there are usually some inbuilt belief systems amongst the population that are very hard to eradicate from their minds. And we can see that this ties back to, you see how the government is basically educating the populace. Also, just that transparency, do they also trust? So like right now, we are seeing in the past couple of months since, November in 2024, there's been an Mpox outbreak. And so there's a vaccination being released. And there's a lot of hesitancy, especially in Kenya, because there's low trust in the government. So are you able to trust the government to, uphold health standards, also uphold their ways of, translating, medical or scientific information to the population so that they can trust that the vaccination is actually something that will save lives? And when you see that there's low trust in, government institutions, it makes people apathetic to receiving vaccinations. So it doesn't help the idea that these, beliefs or superstitions exist around vaccinations. So there is a way to go beyond some of these belief systems, but of course there has to be more information and that is credible, and people who are breaking it down, various languages and making people feel like, okay, I'm comfortable enough, I feel safe enough to take my children for such vaccinations.
So maybe the information is not enough for people to believe it.
Yes.
And as you talked about beliefs, they prey on our beliefs, they prey on our fears, they prey on our emotions and all that. And Duncan, you're talking about how they make it believable. So maybe give us an example of how you've seen it on social media, on they're using person we believe in. Maybe they're using a journalist, they're using someone we believe in to...
Before I talk about that, I want to add a point on what Tess was talking about. Sometimes when these people have been incited to reject vaccinations, by the time maybe they realize that they need to be vaccinated, maybe these types of diseases that they were to be vaccinated against, maybe it has affected them already. And if you also look at the herbal mixtures that we were talking about, somebody is telling you to use ginger, for example, to treat a certain diseases. Sometimes this ginger might not be harmful to your body. But by the time you are discovering that you really need to get cancer treatment, for example, it's already too late. So you've used the ginger has not helped you, but now it's already too late. So to the point you're talking about, these people, these actors that want people to reject these kinds of vaccinations, they usually use people, famous people in the society. They can use a famous journalist. They can come up with a name. For example, there's one that I did about Dr. Gupta. When I went back to my searching, I did not find anybody by the name Dr. Gupta. And those that I found were doing different things, not related to cancer.
Is it because they just wrote doctor?
Yes, sometimes when they invoke the word, put the word doctor in their claims, people are more likely to believe in them because they believe it's not coming from any other person, but this might be a famous doctor in India, and so whatever he says might be true. So by using those names, they enhance the believability of people. People believe more in what they tell you. Yes.
So, Tess, have you seen more of these in terms of vaccines? You've talked about vaccines in terms of the way most Kenyans are actually not taking these vaccines because maybe it's conspiracy theories that we read somewhere and we still believe in them. You've talked about the Mpox one, and everyone is talking about it. Bill Gates bringing in the Mpox. Bill Gates is bringing in the polio. I've seen such, and what do you, when you're debunking, what do you tell people on this?
Yeah. Of course, sometimes you now need to figure out why exactly do these rumors keep coming up, right? So when you're looking for credible health information, especially when it comes to global pandemics, when it comes to vaccinations, you go to organizations like the World Health Organization. So on their website, when you're looking at the WHO, so in short, they're called WHO, you go to their spokesperson, press releases, we're able to get information from them that is able to, quell our fears, and we are able to trust that is credible information that we can trust. So any questions that you have about what Mpox is, what type of vaccination regimen is there for Mpox, even like in the past when it came to COVID-19, when we are talking about, can I treat it with ginger and lemon? What does the WHO talk about when it comes to that? So we go back to look at what is the scientific evidence, the research that has been conducted, the trials, so that we can make informed decisions about whether we are going to take that vaccine or our children should take it, such things, so that we don't just say, no, it's Bill and Melinda Gates. No, I don't trust the government of Kenya.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
And since you're talking about how we get this information, and this is a way of fighting back, how are we fighting back this disinformation? Now, what can we do to protect ourselves? What are the steps we can take to protect ourselves from these scams? Maybe Duncan, you can start us off on this.
So there are very important tips that I believe everyone should know before they engage with these posts. And I'll mention the first one is when interacting with posts about fake jobs, for example, check if they are attached, linked to any website. Okay. So for example, we know Tala, the digital lender, we know Zenka, the digital lender, have websites. So if these Facebook pages are not linked to any website, or the website they are linked to, they are not opening, they do not work, there's a reason to worry there. That's the first red flag. Sometimes they put contacts there and they tell you, use this contact, go to WhatsApp and then apply for these loans. Most of these lenders, they use apps. They ask you to go to their apps or websites and apply a loan from there, or there's a USSD code. But if they tell you go to WhatsApp and apply for the loan, through WhatsApp, then that's a red flag, because it means this person wants to, they might get this, they want to get this money through other means, not the formal ways. So posts that sometimes are put, this page has very low following, low numbers, and then they have 200 shares, 300 shares on different Facebook groups, public Facebook groups, yes. Very young pages, you have a reason to worry, because most of these lenders, they employ professionals to run their adverts, and their adverts come out very professional. So they are not so desperate to share on different public Facebook groups, And also sometimes when you look at their timelines, they have not posted anything. They only focus on posting on groups, not on their timelines. So that's another telltale signs. So also, if they request you to like, share, comment desperately, that's another telltale sign that you're dealing with a scam. And lastly, some of these posts are not, they do not have, they have not put proper adverts on them. For example, we know that most of these brands are well established. They have unique colors. You can easily tell that this is Stala, this is Zenka, out of their unique color. True. I was looking for the word branded. They are well branded. But now if you see somebody or a Facebook page without any proper color, without any proper advert, not well done advert, repeated, this person has done this advert today, the same advert is appearing after 2 hours, exactly the same way. This is a telltale sign that you're dealing with a scam. Yes.
Maybe Tess, you can add a bit more on that.
Yeah. So a common one that we usually see is like, let's say you're applying for a job and they tell you there is a registration fee.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is going to ask you to give them money so that they can, entertain your application for a job. You're actually the one who is meant to be paid once you're selected for the job, right? So you don't have to give anyone money to be considered for a position. And I think this may be tied into, issues around corruption. So people believe that, if I can give you 100,000, I can be given a job in, like this specific department. So sometimes I do believe that we are gullible because in Kenya, corruption cases are very common. So we think that that's how things are meant to be, even in, let's say, the corporate world. If I'm applying for a job at Coca-Cola, why should I give them 20,000? That has ethical concerns. And as Kenyans, we should also be thinking about it like, in what world should I be giving someone money so that I can, in the future, get this job and share my expertise in whatever job it is I'm applying for. Something else that you can check on Facebook is some of these accounts change their names frequently. So maybe they are called Loan Shark, then tomorrow it's Loans 254, or then the other day it's Loans Today. So when you keep on changing these names, it means that page is trying to move under the radar. Because let's say Africa Check, we have noted that Loans 254 is scamming people. Tomorrow, next week, it will call itself Loans Today in Kenya. Then the next, so that it can continue getting, people to scam, right? Another telltale sign is badly written posts. So you can see maybe the graphics that they use are very blurry, or they look not professionally edited, or the English is it's not grammatically correct. So it gives you a hint that it's not really professional. So if I'm applying for a job, or a certain organization is trying to sell a product to me, it will be a very well-written, the PR department has invested some funds to make maybe a poster that looks very attractive. The font is looking good. The images are high resolution. The grammar is correct. Sometimes you can always tell that this post is behaving desperate. It's really trying to lock me in. Share. Coca-Cola would not tell me to share, and what all these things, So let's also try to put our mind, our minds into the position of who is selling us or trying to entice us with this job or, opportunity that is online.
I've seen social platforms where you can actually report a post which is false, report a post, and then it can be taken down. And that's a good way of seeing it. How can we help in terms of now to make this misinformation not spread, this disinformation not spread? How can we make it stop?
No, firstly, I think something that comes to my mind all the time is there's no one on the internet who wants to give you money. Let's just work for our money. There's no one who is just going to wake up and say, just send an email and you will get a bike for 5,000 shillings. Or this world has processes. We work so that we get money. You have to give your customer data to get a loan. Things are not as easy as sometimes the scam artist wants you to believe. And if we are seeking something very easy, we are the ones who are going to suffer at the end. So let's not be so attracted to shortcuts. Sometimes we might be lucky, but when it comes to, risky things, let's just go the full process. Yeah.
So for me, I'll say always question what you come across. Always question. Don't just subscribe to it or to its opinion or to its offer. So if you see a motorbike offer, for example, a job offer, question how legit it is. Visit the websites, call the number they have given you there and ask them for their location. If they are telling you they don't have a physical location,
question it.
So that's my take.
Oh, thank you so much. So we've seen like scams and disinformation are like weeds. So as much as they pop up, we're trying to reduce them. We need to be informed. We stay informed so we can minimize their impact in terms of how they're sharing and all that. Thank you so much for attending this podcast. And see you next time.